Welcome to the Before SkyNet podcast, and I'm your host, Ruck, aka Mr. Ruck, and today I'm here with one of my friends, Christine, and we're going to be digging deeper into the AI world and everything technology-wise, as we always do. And we're just going to start exploring what's out there and share some knowledge and information. So, welcome, Christine. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you were able to come in and work on the show with me and provide the listeners with some ideas for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, what I'd like to do is just start off by, just getting to know who you are, and then we can start relating, what's happening in the AI and technology world, and then we can expand on that going down the line. So tell me about a little bit about yourself. Who is Christine?
Well, I work in marketing. That's what I do for work. For fun, I enjoy travel, food, technology, gadgets, eating.
Yeah.
Eating is my hobby.
Eating is a hobby.
I like to do that the most.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I know from what I know about you, you're very interesting in terms of someone that's always really ready to try something new and, jump feet first or head first, whichever, and, try new things out. So it's been good, communicating with you over the last few weeks and months, understanding what's happening with AI and ChatGPT and all those other models out there right now. But in terms of how you use technology, or actually before we talk about how you use technology, so in your work life or personal life, what specific platforms are you using at the moment?
So I'm using a lot. Okay, not necessarily in my work life. In the work life, we're using computers, internet, technology in that sense. But in my personal life, I'm using tech all day, every day. We're constantly, like anybody else, I'm constantly on my phone, on my computer, on my Kindle. Any gadget you can think of, I probably have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm either on one of those or another. So technology is used all day, every day,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
When you roll out your bed and
Oh
you
my
check your
gosh.
Instagram to...
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. It is kind of a bit overwhelming sometimes, how much we use technology and we actually rely on tech. Yeah, it's getting to the point where, if you leave your house without your mobile phone or one of your gadgets, it's like, oh, I've left the house without putting my pants on. So, you can feel a bit naked to the world without it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
And you lose sleep over it too, right?
Yeah. You can lose so much sleep, especially when it comes to, the time that we spend actually trying to understanding how these platforms or these gadgets work, because we want to get them and get the most out of it. Something that we sometimes feel like, oh, this should be a 5-minute job, can turn into hours trying to figure out. But I guess the benefits of that is later on down the line, it becomes a 5-minute job. Do you agree?
Yes, if you take the time to really do your research, learn it, try to utilize it, know the ins and outs.
Yeah, just the impact of it. So, so in your personal life, okay, so you spoke a little bit, about what you do day to day using technology, and, a bit about how you relate it to work-wise. But I know from, checking out your Instagram and all your other platforms that you use, you're very creative. And do you want to explain to the audience, what industries you actually do as your, sometimes we say side hustles, but, sometimes these side hustles are becoming our main hustles, as we're building. So,
yeah. So I have a lot of hobbies.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a million hobbies going on at a time. Right now, aside from my full-time job, what I do on the side is I'm a brow and lash artist. You can find me on Instagram, BrowsbyCL.
Okay.
I'm dabbling in UGC a little bit. I've started a blog on Korean beauty with a focus on sunscreen. Plus, I have an Etsy shop, and I have so much stuff. I can't even think of everything right now. But yeah, those are the main things.
Yeah. Okay.
Brows and Lashes, UGC, blog, Etsy shop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the top 4 right now.
Yeah. So in terms of when you're actually, creating this content, I'm assuming that there's probably other people that are like, Christine, can you help me with this? Or Christine, how do you do this? And how do you do that? So I guess that's another area that you actually, is a hobby / side hustle / how you feel like you want to be responsible and support other people. So what type of things do people come and ask you for?
A lot of things that I get asked are mostly about editing apps. How many apps do you use to edit? How did you do the transition this way? I'm in a group with other brow artists, and we support each other by inspiring and sharing information on how to make better posts, better engagement, get a bigger following to help boost our businesses.
Yeah.
And in that group, we share tips and tricks that we learn along the way, whether it is algorithm changes, the type of content you should put out there, editing apps. So we help each other in that way.
Yeah. So when you say algorithm changes, and I know a lot of people probably heard the algorithm and stuff like that, but how do you see, how would you explain it in your environment?
The way I'm no expert, but the way my understanding is each social platform, when you are a creator on there, the objective on there is to rank, right? Meaning creating content where you show up on the For You page or on the main page or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. But basically what you're doing when you're creating content is you're trying to rank for the best content. So when people are searching your niche or your topic, whatever it is they're searching it for, the objective is that your account or content shows up first. So that is the main objective of being a content creator, whether it is on Google, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we are all competing for.
Okay. So it's a bit interesting in terms of like the ranking, because I know a lot of people may look at that and think, it's just Google related or Google page related, but I'm assuming that it also relates to the other platforms like Instagram, what's the other platforms? TikTok,
Facebook,
Yeah.
Pinterest, Etsy. Yeah, because I think when you are posting on there, you are acting. Oh, when you're posting on there, you're acting as some kind of authority, right? Whether you're in the fitness niche, beauty niche, sports niche, anything like that, you want. Maybe if you're looking to be an influencer, then you want people to look up to you,
Yeah.
look to you for advice or information, whatever it is they're looking for. You want to drive them to your page. Assuming your content is believable, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what other people are posting out there, but that's
Yeah.
the main point.
So I guess that relates to, like, for instance, if you have sponsors, they want to see that you're up there. They want to see that you have all the bits and pieces to make sure that their product is being seen by as many people.
Yeah, I think when sponsors are looking for influencers to sponsor their product, they are looking for people with a big following, someone who can influence others, influence other people's decision, whether it's eating this, buying that,
Yeah.
going here, going there.
So you mentioned UGC, was it? So what is UGC?
UGC is short for user-generated content. And what it is it's different from influencer content, or UGC creators and influencers are different because influencers need a big following. UGC creators do not. UGC creators create content for brands to post on their social media. And it looks like brands are moving away from influencer marketing more towards UGC because it's supposed to show a more authentic experience. Products being used by regular people,
Yeah.
whether it is unboxings, testimonials, demoing the product. The consumer wants to feel like they can relate, which will influence their decision to buy
Yeah.
if they see it being used by someone they can relate to.
So would that be when we think about Instagram and all the other platforms that are kind of flashy? So would you say the UGC is more away from the flashy side of it? Because, with Instagram, people look at, all the fancy stuff and like, oh yeah, I want to be part of that. Or, it's more, I won't say it's young people related, but it's more of that type of lifestyle compared to something that's related to like a business product. Or would you say UGC is more related to that area of things?
Yeah, totally. Because influencer and brand marketing, it's all very curated to look a certain way and give you a certain feel. Whereas UGC content is more, it's not really edited. It's filmed from an iPhone, not in like, and the scenery is pretty much in your bedroom or in the kitchen, nowhere fancy,
Yeah.
somewhere where everyone can relate. So it is different,
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, it's something that I definitely want to, look into a bit more and educate myself.
Yeah, totally.
Further on that.
It's a pretty fun experience, I'd say.
Yeah.
My UGC consists of trying new restaurants, travel, vlogging. You can say pretty much a lifestyle vlog, I guess. I guess it's a vlog, but
Yeah.
not really. But
Okay. So what's the vlog name?
it's called UGC. No, I changed it. You could find me on TikTok. It's called Branded Content by Christine.
Branded Content by Christine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's a lifestyle UGC account where I make content based on where restaurants, new restaurants that I try, places that I visited, beauty products that I like, things like that. It's a mix of everything.
Okay. So it's more about the personal you and the things that you enjoy in your time off when you're not working as hard.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which is probably not that often because I know you non-stop working.
Yeah.
Okay. You also mentioned Etsy. Now I hear about Etsy. I've checked the website a few times, looking for products. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't bought anything on there before because I'm kind of like, I'm not too sure. Is this real? Are the people on there real sellers? If if I buy a product and it doesn't get delivered, like how do I get my money back and things like that? But I guess as someone who actually, works, has done business on there, share with the audience how you feel about that platform and how secure would you say it is from your experience?
I think it's pretty secure from a seller standpoint because Etsy stands behind their customers more than they do the sellers.
Right.
So I don't think you have to worry about not getting your money back for anything you've bought. If there are no refund policies, it's clearly stated with the item. So I think that lies with the customers to read. But even when things say that, I know that if the buyers reach out to the seller, they can resolve something on their own.
Right.
If you're looking for a refund or something. Yeah.
So how does Etsy compete with, say, for instance, Amazon, for example?
Etsy is a little bit different because back in the day, Etsy, I mean, it still is, I think. The premise of Etsy is that it's focused around DIY. It's supposed to be a crafting website.
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, or quite recently, it's kind of changed in the sense that there are more and more digital creators on there. digital creators are using Etsy as a platform to sell their digital products. This blew up because of TikTok. Somebody posted something like, oh, I made X amount of dollars
Yeah.
because I have an Etsy shop doing digital content creation. And because of that, now Etsy's flooded with people selling digital content, like myself. It's
Okay.
one of my
You
hobbies.
get on there.
I'm on there selling digital content. And yeah, so I feel like Etsy's full of that now.
Yeah.
It could be that it's still popular with DIY things. I don't go on there looking for DIY things. I'll go on there looking for digital products.
Okay. That's interesting because, I looked at Etsy and for people that know me, they know I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. But, I saw sneakers, I saw clothes on there, but I didn't really know about the digital side of it. So, something that I'll probably, look into myself just to explore and just see what's on there. Especially as a comparison, between like Amazon, for example, and then also eBay. So it seems, there's quite a few of these platforms that do things slightly different. I used to use eBay. I don't know if you use eBay yourself,
I have.
but I've noticed eBay's become a bit quiet of recent, from my personal view.
Yeah, that's true. I can't even remember the last time I signed on to eBay or even thought of eBay to buy anything on, because the first site I think of when I'm looking for anything is Amazon.
Yeah,
Like you can find anything on there. So Amazon's definitely taken over in terms of that.
yeah. Be interesting to what eBay are planning, because I know at one point they were very revved up in their marketing for new things that they were bringing. They were doing sneaker verifications and all other types of things. I'm not sure if they've gone into the digital.
I should look into that.
Yeah, be the first person.
I know.
Let's not tell too many people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
might
I
be.
think eBay's known for it's kind of like a digital garage sale or something, because everyone sells their secondhand items, and that's where you go to eBay for, like, used
Yeah,
things, I think.
maybe so. I don't know. For myself, I probably I look for devices for connecting, say for instance, LEDs together or something like that, and I'll get like 50 of these products, rather than going to eBay and then paying a whole load more for it.
Why don't so because you're looking for 50 products, and I think what you're saying is you've looked to eBay because you think it's cheaper on eBay.
Yeah.
Why not get it on AliExpress?
See, Ali as well is a little bit of a. I've ordered once from Ali. I found it took quite a long time. It was a product that I couldn't find somewhere else at that price point, and it probably took me probably about 6 weeks to get it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. I'm a bit impatient.
Yeah,
when
makes
it comes
sense.
to if I want it, I want it now, which is probably Amazon's fault.
That's
at
what
that
Prime
point.
did to you.
Yeah,
No
primed
patience.
me over. So, yeah, okay. So another area. Well, we're still talking about technology and AI because it is the number one thing going on right now. But why does AI interest you? And what makes you want to try out these new platforms?
Because I feel like if we don't try and utilize it, then we are going to get left behind in the
Left behind.
dust.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when it came out, I was fascinated and so scared at the same time. But as technology evolves, we have to evolve with it,
Yeah.
so that our fears don't come true, because so we don't get stuck in a black mirror.
Yeah.
I think we are going to get stuck in a black mirror, but at the same time, if you take the time to learn these technologies and use it to your advantage, then that's just the best case
Yeah.
scenario, I guess. Or I don't know. I just think like with the technology out there, as scary as it is, it's so cool what it all does.
Yeah.
Who knew that? I definitely did not see this coming.
No, it just came out of the
Like,
blue.
yeah, definitely did not see this coming. And when it came out, I was like blown away by the capabilities. And this is just the beginning. So I am so excited to see what's coming in the next couple of years after all of this has been tested, upgraded, and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I've said, in previous episodes, like we need to make ourselves comfortable with it, and the only way you're going to be comfortable with something is to actually use it. Being afraid of something is only because it's about the unknown.
Right.
Once you start to know something, understand it, then you can be more relaxed with it.
Yeah.
And when the new things come in, you can be a little bit on edge, but as long as you continue on that path, new things you'll be able to pick up, so much easier. And I'm guessing a lot of these platforms that are, coming about, they all run on similar types of ways to approach it in terms of, asking it questions. So if you learn on one platform how to ask questions, say from ChatGPT, then you can go to, what was that one?
Dolly.
Dolly, use the same concept, same process. There's many other platforms. So you could be upskilling on one platform, but then it's transferable to another area, and once we get used to understanding that and just trying, we're never going to be the greatest at anything. But, we can get a good understanding and try and use these tools for our benefit. And then later on in the podcast, we'll probably talk more about like how businesses are looking at it and how we as individuals can, use their lack of movement as a, positive for us to, take some control of what's going on.
Yeah.
So some of the platforms that you've used so far, what would you say has been the most beneficial to you? And I got an idea of the first one you're going to tell me, so I'm probably going to ask you for a second one after that. But what platforms have you used that you feel, that are beneficial and useful?
I'm going to say the number one, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right. It's beneficial to me because I use it all day, every day in my regular work and in my work outside of work. I use it for simple things for like email creation, how to word something better, summarizing long reads. And then in my work outside of work, I use it to assist in my content creation, whether it is coming up with post ideas, hooks, captions, copy, coming up with a content calendar for me. It's things like that.
Content calendar. See, that's something that I've never really thought about before. So how would you use ChatGPT to help you create a content calendar?
I would say create for me a 5-day content calendar for my powder ombre brows business. Yeah, so I would put that. And then it would spit out Monday to Friday what to post. And what it usually spits out is very general ideas. So you'd have to take that and narrow it down some more or re-ask it to give you even like more specifics. If I have a computer here, we could totally do it on the spot and then we can test it out. I think what it would put would be like Monday, educational reel, Tuesday, carousel post, Wednesday, how-to video, or Thursday, I don't know what it would say. We would have to try it out and then
So I guess from that, you could use the information and be like, okay, I want to be more specific in this area. So then you re-ask it the question and, say, break down the tasks in Monday for content creation or whatever.
Yeah, you can even tell it to give me step-by-step instructions how to do number one. Or give me an example if you're looking for more in-depth
Yeah.
detail.
So off that, when you're using it, you can talk to it as if like it's a human. So you can ask it the first question and you can say, expand on point one.
Yes.
And it knows how to relate back to what it's told you already.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So that's quite useful because, you know, for me, myself, if someone's, you know, asked me to go back to, you know, one of my first points out of 10, I'll be like, what did I say again?
Exactly. Yeah. And the fact that it spits it out in 2 seconds is very impressive.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one of the platforms that you use, and I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there that are using that as well. I'm definitely, you know, in there trying to figure out how to ask it questions the right way. But what would be another platform that you've tried or you're thinking about trying?
The next one I want to try was Jasper, which is a copy AI, and it deals specifically with creating copy for your for whatever you need it for, whether it's your social media channels or if you're into writing books, or I think it would be a good good platform for that.
Yeah.
That's what I plan on using. Another one that I want to start using is the text to video one, where you're able to input text and AI will create a video for you based on your prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little bit scary that you can ask it to make a whole video for you. And you just saying that, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I probably got probably about a year to 2 before AI takes over my my podcasting. And people be out there creating podcasts really easily.
I think that is the number one scare with everybody right now, is thinking that AI is going to take over their jobs because of how capable it is and how well it does it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I also think that I did try there are a few text to video apps to date, and I did give a couple of them a try. And in doing so, the output that I've seen right now, I feel like it is impressive in that it's able to do this within 2 seconds. And yeah, it will do exactly what it says, converting text to video. But as a human watching the video, I feel it, because it's AI, it does lack the human touch.
Yeah.
The facial expressions, the hand movements, the tone of the voice, it's very obvious it is AI. I don't like that. Like if I was a business and I was going to use that in my marketing, I don't think my consumers would take well to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not representing a real person from that perspective. I guess it'd be different if you had a technology company or business, or, you know, something to do with gadgets, then you can kind of get away with that. But when it's that personal touch, I guess that's where right now it's lacking.
Yeah, so I think like jobs that require human connection, they don't have to worry so soon yet.
Yeah. Well, we're saying not so soon,
Not
but
until the next update.
yeah. You know, GPT-4 is almost here. I think I did read something today in terms of GPT-4. They want to not release it as quick
because they wanted, what was the word? What was the language they used?
I don't know specifically.
They wanted it to be I think it was safe.
Yeah.
I think was it safe? I don't know, it made me feel like GPT-4 is going to be dangerous, or they are aware of the danger it might cause, and they are being careful of when it's going to be released.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I got from when they released that statement.
Yeah.
We should probably look that statement up and quote it.
We'll slide it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like the fact that they were almost ready to put it out in the next couple weeks or months, and you know, them putting out that statement that they're not ready because they're not sure. It's kind of like, well, I wonder what it is that they've seen that's made them feel that this isn't, ready to release because of some type of danger. I wonder how that's going to impact them from the business side of things. I don't know, are they on the stock market at the minute?
I'm not sure, but like ChatGPT just came out. Like, has it been a year yet? And they're already looking to release number 4.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite fast.
Yeah, because GPT-4, I mentioned on one of my previous podcasts, they're using it, everything that GPT-3 knows, GPT-4 is trying to better understand and become better than GTP-3. GPT? I'm getting lost now.
No, that's good.
GPT?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's learning, but also it's learning from everything that we're inputting into it. So we're effectively helping build the next platform. Even though we're using it, it's our interactions and how we're rewording things. And, I guess they can tell if we actually get what we want because we stop asking the question. Then they can decipher between all the different inputs that we've created that this was what the person was really looking for. So they can, work in between, not having to worry about the user having to ask all these questions because they can understand where the user's trying to go. And I guess that's like, when you have a relationship with another person and they ask you a question, you can kind of be like, oh, this is what they want. Even though they didn't ask you specifically, every individual part of your request or task. So it is getting a bit weird,
I guess. And if ChatGPT-4 is utilizing information the audience is feeding it, then I guess that leaves a lot of room for misinformation too. Like, it's already known for misinformation now, and if they're going to use that information, that's pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I can't even think of what an upgrade would be like because unless GPT-4's information is based on the most up to date, because GPT-3 is limited to 2020.
Yeah.
So an upgrade would be getting real-time information. But aside from that, what other upgrade would there be?
Yeah. And I guess, I'm assuming they would have to reduce their snapshot because, say, for instance, a news article came out, something fresh, people not knowing 100% what's really going on. There's only a few news sources that are delivering that information. If you ask ChatGPT, it only can go to those sources. It can't, look at all the other related articles and then, give you more precise and balanced argument. It's just going to give you what's there at that point. So I guess that is a danger with having, current snapshots of data rather than, being from 2 years ago.
And how's it going to be able to provide unbiased answers if there was no really one firm answer for something?
Yeah. Yeah, the bias side of it was a point that I raised last week. And our biases, especially media related, would apply to the information and the data that we're putting into the system. So say, for instance,
more people said this.
Yeah.
Then it's going to spit that out as an answer?
Yep.
Oh.
It's going to move more towards that. If we think about different countries in the world that don't necessarily, produce a lot of information and data that is positive, because they don't really use the internet, for example. The media creators, it will be their view on what they think that environment is or what these people are like. So when you ask ChatGPT, give me a description of someone from, a particular part of the world. What do they like to eat? This information is going to come from the people that observe and not necessarily the people that live there.
That's true.
So the biases sit there. And then we also talk about filters, because they are going to want to filter out any questions where it could put people in danger, and it goes against ChatGPT's model. But who is to say that this information should be filtered? Should it not be free for everybody else?
Yeah, that's an interesting point to bring up with filters and AI's limitations, because I think like ChatGPT has, some people have run into the limitations of ChatGPT when they questions morality, legality, and things like that. But there has been some who have been able to find the workaround
Yeah.
and was able to have ChatGPT answer outside of those limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, it's like, when you have the three laws of robotics or whatever it is, in this example, they would have set the laws and the rules for ChatGPT, but people have been able to find a way around it. And I think in that instance, they made ChatGPT play as another person who had a lack of certain morals and things like that.
Yeah.
So it gave both sides of it.
Yeah.
But really the person that was typing in was looking for, the more in-depth, more, dangerous information. And I guess it's just how we answer questions, how we ask questions, and how the system perceives those questions. So these three laws of robotics, I don't think they're going to stand up.
Probably not, because, AI or ChatGPT or AI, it's only as good as the prompts given to them, right? And so I guess as a human, if you're a good communicator
Yeah.
and you ask the right questions in
Yeah.
the right way, you'll get the right
Yeah.
answer, or whatever answer you're looking for.
Yeah. If you're a master manipulator.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Getting what you need out of things.
I mean, in the future, I think they're going to call that prompt engineer instead of master manipulator.
So, prompt engineer.
Yeah, prompt engineer.
Okay. So, what's your understanding of that as a role, would you say?
My understanding of a prompt engineer, so I was listening to, I don't know where I saw this, but someone was saying how people are so afraid of AI taking away so much jobs, but then with that, it's going to create a lot of jobs. One of the jobs they foresee being highly sought after in the future is going to be prompt engineer, which is somebody who's able to utilize AI in the way much better than a regular person. So corporations will probably start looking for prompt engineers because they're not going to take the time to research, train, learn the ins and outs of ChatGPT. They're going to hire someone who's like an expert in utilizing ChatGPT, with that role being called prompt engineer.
Yeah. Prompt engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, that might
I think
be
I want to do that next.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be my next
Pretty
step.
good.
I think if we could get in there early, get that money.
Exactly.
Get that money.
Exactly.
So what would you say is the most interesting thing that you found by using these platforms?
Oops. The most interesting thing. I guess the most interesting thing is it really speeds up efficiency in my day-to-day. Without ChatGPT, not even content creation. In my regular job, right? I have to write emails to a lot of people. I've been told that I'm a bit short and blunt and too direct, and that my emails require a bit of fluff and sugar.
Yeah.
Without ChatGPT, do you know how long it's going to take for me? It's going to take for me to craft this email to put all this fluff. It's just not in me. It's not how I speak. So one email that would have taken me 30 minutes to write and get it done in 2 seconds
Yeah.
by Chat GPT. All I need to be like, I want to write this, make it nice. Boom,
Yeah.
you got it.
Do you, with that, when you say that, do you think that it's a tool that is just giving you a quick answer to a quick resolution to a task? Or do you feel like that is actually helping you to develop, areas where you feel that you may be lacking? So say, for instance, the fluff side of things. Do you think that you are learning from having this input, this feedback, or is it just, I need to get from A to Z, this is a quick way to do it?
Both.
Okay.
So I think both, yes, it gets me to A to Z quick, right? And I don't have to think about it. But if I have to do this every day and put these prompts, then I'm going to be fed these fluffs all day. I mean, every single day. And then I'll get used to seeing it all the time. And maybe when ChatGPT is not around, I would have saw so much fluff that hopefully some of it would have stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
And so I'll take that as a learning
Yeah.
if I'm able to recall it on my own
Yeah. Sounds good.
later down the line.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good idea. I feel like that when we start talking to Chat GPT directly and we're saying, Chat GPT, send an email for such and such and such. I need it sent by 5 p.m. today. Let me know when it's been sent. Then we lose that part of that interaction because we trust the platform so much for it to deliver the information. Will we go back and see what it actually sent, or will we be putting so much trust in it? Because if you think about it, like even an employee, there's a level of trust that we give to a PR, some kind of assistant, that they'll get the job done. And then once we get comfortable in knowing that, okay, you can do, what I've asked you, I don't have to check on you. I feel that we will start to, move along those lines.
Where everyone's going to have their own AI assistant?
Yeah. AI assistant.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. I think in the future, we are all going to be utilizing AI. And I think it's going to make us lazy.
Yeah.
People are not going to have interpersonal skills anymore. They are going to lack social skills, people skills. If they are going to heavily rely on AI, it's going to make us lazy.
Yeah.
I think.
Because social skills right now are
It's
quite
already
low.
lacking.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Totally.
Back in the day, I always like to talk about back in the day, but, you'd have, as a young person, you'd be out your house a lot. You'd interact with other people. You'd explore. You would, try new things. You'd make your own games and so on. But now it's like a lot of it is, wake up in the morning, jump on some kind of device, communicate with 5 to 10 people. I feel like I've been interactive for the day. But yeah, a lot of times people don't build a lot on their relationships from that. And then they feel, if I've had this interaction, okay, I'm good for the day. I can just silo out and just, play games or work or, and even with the invention of virtual reality, VR and AR, augmented reality as well, and the push for that on top of what we're doing with, ChatGPT and all the other models, we are going to be people that are just, interact via the internet. The one-to-one is going to fade quite a lot. And how do you feel, or what do you think we should be doing to counteract that?
I think people who are into the virtual world and not the social aspect of life, I think that's more of I think it applies to introverts, right? They prefer that. I don't know. Like, am I generalizing now? Should we not say that?
Introvert is a thing.
Right.
You know.
Whereas, I'm an extrovert. I don't as much as as much as I like tech and all the gadgets and all the apps and everything that's out here that's great about tech, as an extrovert, VR, AR, all this stuff does not call to me. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be outside and go out and experience things in real life. I mean, I was into gaming a lot, addicted to gaming,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so I give it a fair shot, all the stuff. And I felt, I don't know, it's just the AR and VR. I'm not into it. It's
Yeah.
cool, super cool.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I think it's a lot of good stuff and it's very innovative and all that stuff. I think it's very cool, but not really into it.
Yeah.
That much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a topic area that I'm definitely going to explore a little further later on down the line, because I do see the impact that that's going to have on, on people's personal lives, but also for business. I think business is going to be a big beneficiary of the technology. But yeah, it'd be nice to dig deeper and, do a bit more research on it. But so what difficulties have you come across on your journey with AI?
Difficult. Oh, okay. Some difficulties that I have been coming across is not getting the answer that I'm looking for. I think that is mainly in part because of my communication skills,
Right.
right? Because it's only as good as the person who prompts it. So that's the difficulty, not being able to get the answer I'm looking for. Another thing is the information not being up to date. Not up to date, but then I'll ask it for, I don't know, I'll ask it for something. And then they'll spit information out. Then I will say, what's the resource for this? And there will be no resource. So that's one.
Yeah.
The misinformation output from ChatGPT. Not being able to cite its resources. Not being able to get the answer I'm looking for. I did try DALL-E, the image creator one, and the image that I thought was going to come out did not come out the way I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Again, it is mainly because of the prompt I gave it. Maybe it wasn't descriptive enough. But yeah, those are the difficulties I faced so far.
Yeah. So I guess there's probably some type of framework. Hopefully there's some kind of framework out there where it will suggest this is how you prompt. So you might say in the first portion, describe this, then go into detail or whatever it is. Because I'm assuming the people that have developed these platforms have an understanding of the best way for us to communicate with the platform. So I guess that, that could be something that, me, you, and everyone else that's listening, we could actually look out for. It might give us the edge on, getting the best out of these platforms that are there. So.
Oh, another difficulty I did run into is that, I'll be like, create an email response for this email. And they'll create this response, but then that's not what I sound like.
Yeah.
So clearly you can tell it was written by a bot.
Yeah.
But I did discover ways to work around that where you can make ChatGPT talk in your talking style, write in your talking style.
Okay.
Write in your writing style.
So would that be through training the platform?
Sort of. So what I've seen online, what people have done is they provided ChatGPT a sample of their own writing. And then with that, they will prompt ChatGPT to say, write a response in my style of writing.
Yeah.
Based on the samples I've provided you.
Yeah.
And it will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that makes sense.
Right.
Because I'm assuming that goes like the same with like visuals as well. You know, we're able to use platforms and give the platform an image to reference, and then use that to create or, you know, merge into the masterpiece that they're creating. But I guess as we're doing that, we're actually providing the system with more data to use, right?
Yes.
All the samples that we're putting in is like, okay, this is what we need. We need people to be inputting all these samples so we can use this for GPT-4 or, you know, all the other platforms out there. So in one sense, it's good that we're training it. It's just a little bit, not fearful, but it's another data point as to who we are as individuals. You know, because they might know so much about how we move about, you know, our spending habits, and what we like to eat, where we like to go, who we communicate with. Now it's like how people communicate, and specifically this person communicates in this way.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those ones where we feel like we don't want to put too much in, but all the systems that we use, even if we're in the workplace, for example, anything that we create as an email doesn't belong to us.
No.
It belongs to the company.
Yeah.
So if the company want to, you know, make gains on that by selling, you know, the way they interact, we don't have a leg to stand on that.
No.
So yeah, so as much as we try and run away from certain things, unless you run your own business, and even then, you're still going to have to put information into other people's systems, and then they could use that data.
Yeah, and that is one of the concerns with AI these days. People who are signing up to use the programs are really unaware of what the trade-off is when you are giving AI your face to turn into an avatar. Yeah, I just think
you can then use it without your consent.
pretty much you're giving away your biometric
Yeah,
data.
well, I guess you're giving away consent right at the beginning, where you have your terms and conditions, which nobody reads because it's too long. But I guess we can now use ChatGPT to take those terms and conditions, put them in there, and just ask it to give me a brief overview of what this actually means. And
That's
then
exactly what I did
yeah,
today. That's exactly what I did today when I was trying out a new AI program, the text to video, and then in signing up, there's that text box. Do you agree to our terms and conditions? Do you agree to our privacy policy? So one window open for terms and conditions, another window open for privacy policy.
Yeah.
Copy and paste in a ChatGPT. Are there any do I have any concerns about my privacy here, or should I be concerned about my privacy?
Yeah.
And within 2 seconds, ChatGPT pumped out, just so you know, you're giving away XYZ when using this, and
okay.
Yeah, it's up to you whether you want to go ahead with it or not.
Okay, so that is a good point for anybody thinking, oh, maybe I don't need to use ChatGPT or whatnot. That's a key tool that you could use to get through that, all that reading, or that time is taking.
Yeah, but some people won't even take it that far, right? Because a lot of people are like, why does it matter? I use Facebook. They already have my information.
Yeah.
Why does it matter? I'm on Instagram. They already do it, so what's the difference?
Yeah. But I guess it's the more we share, the more of it's like having a 5 megapixel camera. Taking a picture from a distance. You can kind of see what it looks like, but I think it's this. Whereas if you have like a 50 megapixel camera,
see everything.
Yeah. Everything's in detail. You can see things that were hidden in the previous picture. We can see them now. So that's all it's doing. It's increasing the what's it called? Increasing the
visibility.
Yeah, the visibility, the focus. There's a word I'm thinking of. Well, yeah, I'll come back to that. But yeah, just how well we can actually see the the data and the information about somebody. And the more we feed in, the more they can see. Okay, so I think we've done a lot of talking in terms of where AI is and how we approach it as individuals, and how it's impacting us. But when we think about business, okay, so big business are probably not trying to adopt a lot of AI into their structure, because it will take a lot of time, will take a lot of money, like take a lot of development. So with that said, do you see any areas that people out there could benefit from being up to date with what's going on, and training themselves so they can outbid big business?
Yes, of course, because even in my job now, I can see so many ways how AI could help increase productivity, efficiency, things like that. But, are they going to invest in that? Probably not. But I know for me, I want to stay on top of it, and I want to be able to utilize AI to do this, not only for my that work, but for my own work on the side too. We spend a lot of time doing things that take too long. For example, meeting minutes,
Yes.
right? Meeting minutes take a long. Okay, so in a regular workplace, meeting happens. One person is expected to take notes. While taking notes, you can't pay attention to the meeting
Yep.
because you're busy taking the notes, right? So you don't know what's happening. And when what the company should do is install an AI program, the meeting notes taker, so everyone who attends the meeting gets what they need out of it, and they are all focused on whatever they need to talk about.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, this AI meeting minute taker sums everything up, delegates all the tasks, calendars everything, has reminders, right? So I feel like AI, if a company were to invest in AI, something so small like that would increase productivity, efficiency, and time would not be wasted
Yeah.
on taking notes.
So with that, there's a particular role that I was thinking of, which would be, the assistant. I can't remember what they were called before.
BAs,
Not BAs, but
EAs,
what's EA stand for?
executive assistant.
Executive assistants, yeah. So from that point of view, there's less tasks for them to actually be completing. So, so just a point to anybody out there who may be in that area, they probably need to start thinking of like, oh, okay, if this is part of my daily role and now it's been taken away from me, what else can I do within the company to make sure that I'm needed?
You could be a prompt engineer.
Yeah.
You can, be an expert at the thing that took over your job,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So you might just work for one particular person or one department. You could be in a position that you spread between multiple departments. Some departments that don't even take notes, you could be, that service to that department, and just keep everything flowing. Everyone's using the same tool. They can share the data and information. So it's just thinking like that, really outside of the box, in terms of if you feel threatened by AI, then think about how you can adapt your skill set to still be in a position of employment or usability within the organization.
Yes, totally. But I think once you know how to utilize AI to a level that's better than beginner, then there's going to be so much opportunity outside of your company
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. So the key point about what we're talking about is just not getting left behind
Right.
and having the power. This is probably one of the most important changes of like every generation.
Yes.
That you can actually put yourself in a position of power by just taking the time to understand the platforms and work on the platforms and see how they can integrate into your workplace. It doesn't. We don't have to sit around waiting for the company to say, "Hey, we're starting to use this tool." You could bring it forward and be the person who manages that platform or who understands about that platform and tells what the benefits are of it. So it all comes down to, the rate of how we resolve problems, as you mentioned earlier on, which gives us more time to work on other tasks, create more content, interact with our clients and so on, and be more productive in those areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple of points that I put down for this, just to wrap up. And we got test and learn. And specifically, so refine your thinking. So as we said, going deeper into how the world is changing and how we work. But be in a position to explore and then start to refine and be more specific on where you fit in. And I think right now we have the ability to test all these things and then see what happens, right?
Yes, I think we are in the very beginning stages where if you're curious, you need to act on it now, right now, when the apps are free. And you need to take advantage now before updates have happened. Now you got to pay $50 to use it to test it. It's like, you need to jump on it now. If you're curious, you should jump on it now, I think.
Yeah. Especially when it's in its early days, we get on and master it.
Yes. Start at the same level as everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you wait too long, right, the gap between beginners and experts is going to be so big. Yeah, I just think like if you are curious about it, then you should start now.
Yeah, so it's just like watching a TV show. You might hear, people talking about this TV show for weeks, months, years, and you're like, I don't think I've got time for that. And then you decide one day, you know what? I think I'm going to. And then you realize how many series and episodes you are behind.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. And at that point, you're kind of like, oh, it's too far gone for me. I don't think I have the time and the effort because, people that have been focusing on this understand where it is, what it is.
Totally.
Know the whole story.
Yeah.
Can communicate with their friends and family about the story. And you're the person that's sat on the sofa like, I can't be a part of this conversation. I don't know what's going on or anything. So even though I'm not saying to people start watching loads of TV or anything like that, but just think of it from that perspective. You don't want to be that person that's sat on the sofa when everybody else knows what's going on, and you're the person that's kind of like in the dark.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. But, at the same time, some people just don't have any interest in this. Like, I feel like in tech, I don't even know that many people who are into tech in general.
Yeah.
And let alone ChatGPT. Right? Maybe it's because it's advancing too fast and people feel like they can't keep up because it's update after update.
Yeah.
So many updates in a year, right? And it's overwhelming for people. So I think a lot of people are like overwhelmed, don't know where to start. And
Yeah, I think, it's definitely overwhelming. Like everybody I've met feels very overwhelmed about what's going on and what's changing. But I always say a little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing. So even if you just check out one platform, you decide this is a platform I'm just gonna, go on once a week or twice a week and just play around with it. Those skill sets that you learn there, you can transfer into others potentially later on, or you may grow a better understanding and wanting to, to learn more new things. But if you sit on the sideline and be like, yeah, I'd like to play, but I don't think I'll be that good. If you've never picked up the ball and tried, then you never know, what you're good at.
Totally. And, ever since the launch of Chat GPT and its popularity, and then all of a sudden these explosion of other AI apps, I find it very overwhelming. But at the same time, I find it super interesting and I'm really amazed by it.
Yeah.
And to keep up, what I do is every day I spend an hour and explore each app that I may have interest in. And then later on, we'll probably focus on one or two to be really good at.
Yeah. Okay. So for our listeners out there, Christine's giving you a step-by-step of what you could be doing to benefit yourself. As you can see, it doesn't take that much time out of your day. Just cut out one of your TV shows and you'll be okay. Okay, so just the last thing I just want to just highlight is the resolve tasks using new AI and get paid, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. We're all given tasks. Is how quick and how efficient we can resolve them and bring benefit and quality to the client or the platform, and then we get paid.
That's right. There's a lot of people who've already taken advantage of AI in a way to monetize and making things easier for companies to streamline with the use of AI.
Yeah.
Going back to what we were saying, because companies are not, maybe they're not in the know and they don't know these products exist. And then you have these like consultants come in who know to utilize AI, and they are able to monetize their knowledge in utilizing AI.
Yeah. Because just think about it, in a business, if you had one person, that came for an interview and said, I know how to manage all these platforms that are beneficial to your company, you're going to be like, wow, all I need is this person.
Right.
To provide the information to all the other staff members to make sure we're on the path.
Yeah.
So if we could be that person, or we can come into a role and say we have these additional skill sets, it's just going to be beneficial for us. So yeah, some things to think about over the next week.
I need to add Chat GPT to my resume.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would stand out quite a lot, right? What was it? Something prompter, was it?
Prompt engineer.
Prompt engineer.
Oh, no, I'm not there yet. I'm working towards it.
Why are you not a prompt engineer right now?
I'm learning. There's so much information out there. I think, like on social media, especially TikTok, there are so many Chat GPT experts now all of a sudden.
But they're experts. You will be an engineer.
Yeah. So it's like, and it goes in line with all these people selling courses on whatever it is they want to sell. But there are people who are like Chat GPT experts who are out there giving information on how to prompt it better.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet, but I will.
Okay.
But the information is overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, all we can do is take it step by step, day by day, and increase our knowledge and understanding, and also efficiency on how we use these platforms, right? Okay.
Totally.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, but thank you ever so much for coming and spending some time with me, Christine, today, talking to the audience and sharing your views and ideas, and providing me with some guidance and some steps on how I can use this new emerging technology.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that you are into AI as well. Now, someone else talk to about this on a
Hey.
day to day. I have
Oh,
nobody to talk to about this.
well, hopefully people out there, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, leave some comments. I guess those are people that we can network with and build
Mm-hmm.
even better ideas and understandings, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you have been listening to Mr. Rock, aka Rock, and Christine on the Before Skynet podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Please subscribe and follow us on all the major platforms, streaming platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, sorry, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, and all of that, okay? And I'll see you next week, or you'll hear me next week. Have a good week, everybody. Be safe. Peace.
5, 4, 3, 2.